don't want to die. He started crying. Even when he died, there was nothing on his nose, but he went to tears when he dropping from his eyes.
King of glory, arise and let those that cut the life of my son short.
We are here for Sylvester. It's as simple as that. We must get justice.
This is the story of an 11-year-old boy who went back to school after holidays and never came back home again. What started as whispers behind closed doors would later shake an entire nation. His name was Sylvester Oromoni Junior, fondly called Junior by everyone who loved him. He was just a child full of life, wanted to become a pilot in the future, and was just 5 days away from turning 12 years old. But then, inside the walls of one of Lagos' most prestigious schools, something happened to Sylvester Junior. Something his family would later say cost them everything. Dowen College wasn't just any school. It was one of Lagos' most elite secondary schools, attended by children of politicians, businessmen, and some of Nigeria's most powerful families. That detail would later become impossible to ignore. Sylvester Oromoni was born on the 4th of December 2009. He was the last one of Chief Sylvester Oromoni Senior, a boy named after his father, carrying both love and legacy. The family hailed from Outrage or Warri South local government area of Delta State. But like many Nigerian families looking for policy education for their children, the Oromoni family had earlier enrolled their older daughters at Dowen College, Lagos State, and Sylvester Junior was the last to join them in this private boarding school. The truth is, for any family to send their children there was a statement. It meant sacrifice, hope, and trust. However, the Oromoni family would soon begin to notice some not so comfortable events regarding their 11-year-old son. One of these reports was bullied, and Sylvester Jr. lived with some of his seniors in the same hostel block. This made him very accessible to them. According to his family, Junior had been having several problems at Dowen College long before November 21.
Before then, we've been experiencing so many things. If you give this boy 50,000 naira provision, it doesn't take him 1 week. His clothes, his shoes, any good thing that he has, money. So we now decided that we give the money to the house master, one Mr. Ahmed.
On the 19th of November 2021, the Oromoni family received a call from the school nurse who told them that Junior was seriously ill and said they should come pick him up. But there was a challenge. The Oromoni family didn't live in Lagos, so they had to send a close friend who resided in Lagos to help them pick him up from school. But nobody prepared this close friend for the shock ahead. What he saw on arrival made him call the Oromoni family immediately. According to his account, Sylvester Jr. could not walk nor move any part of his body. That was not even the most disturbing part. He further said that his body already showed signs that something was very terribly wrong. Hearing this, his father immediately called the school so they could explain what had happened to his son. On the other end of the call was one Mr. Ahmed. Mr. Ahmed happened to be the housemaster of Sylvester Jr. and was in the best position to give an answer. He said Sylvester was injured during a football game and his ankle was dislocated.
My wife got a call from a nurse in the sick bay. Said, hey, madam, your child is seriously sick. The boy could not sleep. That we should come and carry the boy. My wife told her that it's late and none of us are in Lagos. But nevertheless, we send somebody come and carry the boy. We now ask one of you, who's a friend to my son, to go and carry my son from the sick bay. But when he got there, the boy could not move. He now called immediately. Then we called the housemaster Ahmed. What happened to my son? He said they were playing football. He was playing football with his mates and at the fair. That was the report the housemaster gave to us.
Now, this response was very light and could be taken lightly by any unsuspecting parent. After all, an ankle dislocation could be fixed in no time. But what the family didn't know was the kind of pain their son was passing through. Regardless of the pain, the young boy was taken to a clinic as directed by his father for some X-ray examination, but there was no fracture on his ankle. Instead, his health was getting worse by the day. At this point, the father had to travel down to Lagos from Warri so he could see things for himself, but what he saw left him broken. He quickly made arrangements to take his son down to Warri. where he sought the help of a traditional orthopedist whom he thought could at least look at the ankle. But the orthopedist said that nothing was wrong with his ankle.
But since they complained of leg, and I called somebody who knew how to massage to check if there was dislocation or fraction. So the man came and said nothing like dislocation.
Confused, he called the family doctor upon arrival. The doctor took blood samples of the young boy for a test, and the result was that he had malaria. So the doctor was treating malaria while Sylvester was slowly dying of something more serious, something he would later confess to the parents before he died on the 30th of November 2021.
I had a call. They said the boy has confessed that he said he did not play any football with any friends, that he did not even fall. He was in his room in the evening with his friend. Then these boys walked in, 5 of them walked into the room. One of them went back and put off the light, but they were holding belt. They started beating him. They flogged him. He fell off from his bed and they started mashing him. All of them started mashing. They bullied him. In fact, he said that all these pains he was having all over his body, his head everywhere, was as a result of the beating. That he did not play any ball. My wife and my boy now asked him, "Did you know the boys?" He said, "Yes, there were 5, but he knows 3. He now mentioned the name of 3.
The account of what allegedly resulted in his death broke Nigeria. Within hours, the hashtag Justice for Sylvester was everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, even on the streets. Mothers protested, civil servant bodies and celebrities joined. The Lagos state government closed down Dowen College and reassured the Oromoni family of their support. That was not the end. The governor also directed the Lagos State Police Command to investigate the case to ascertain the circumstances that led to the death of Sylvester. Anyone could think that justice for Sylvester would be one of the fastest to come by, but they were wrong. However, on December 11, 2021, the school released a letter in which they stated their commitment to justice and making sure it is served. The letter also highlighted that the 5 students who were accused of bullying were already in custody and were being interrogated alongside 5 other domestic staffs, one of them being Mr. Ahmad, the housemaster to the deceased. Within this period, 2 different autopsies were conducted on the deceased. The first at a medical facility in Warri and the later at the University of Lagos Teaching Hospital. But what followed will leave Nigeria in shock. The 2 autopsies yielded different initial findings, with the first one suggesting a chemical intoxication. We support the allegation that Sylvester was forced to drink a harmful substance, which also affected his lungs and enlarged his liver. However, the second autopsy results showed that the deceased died of septicemia, a blood infection, and a lung-stroke kidney infection due to an ankle injury.
The result of the second autopsy carried out in Lagos was released on 21st December 2021. The results attributed the cause of death to septicemia. There is no evidence to establish a case of torture, bullying, and forceful application of poisonous substance against the suspects.
January 5, 2022, the Lagos State government cleared the school and released the accused students and staff members of Dowen College based on the legal advice from the then Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution, Mrs. Adetutu Oshinosi.
The state government has cleared 5 students and 5 employees of Dowen College accused of complicity in the death of 12-year-old Sylvester Oromoni.
However, this report did not go down well with the Oromoni family, and they labeled it as a conspiracy to vindicate the suspects.
I'm not surprised, but I know that this is the height of conspiracy between the government and the Commissioner of Police, so I'm not surprised.
He, however, insisted that he may not give up. Shortly, the family hired the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, who petitioned the office of the Lagos State coroner for an inquest and contested the bail granted to the 5 students. On January 21, 2022, the official coroner inquest began and lasted for over 2 years. Throughout this period of time, About 32 witnesses, including the accused, testified, and the court would later rule on April 17, 2022, that Sylvester's death was natural and caused by acute sepsis due to an infected ankle, and further cited that avoidable parental and medical negligence played a major role. However, the Oromoni family would express their dissatisfaction to this final judgment. Their Human Rights Counsel, Femi Falana, SAN, further faulted the outcome, citing that the coroner disregarded the first autopsy result, which showed chemical intoxication and forced trauma faced by the disease.
I must tell you, as a father, the verdict does not represent the true proceeding of the court. If you send your child to a school in a distant place, who is to take care of the child? Is it only the principal and the doctor of the school? That is a question open for Nigerians to answer.
Meanwhile, the remains of Sylvester Oromoni was laid to rest on January 21, 2022 at his father's compound in Outrage of Ore South local government area of Delta State. Friends and well-wishers gathered to honor the young boy, whose budding life was mysteriously cut short. Amid tears, the father, Mr. Sylvester Senior, reiterated that he will keep fighting until justice was served.
I'm going to fight justice for him for 30 years, if God keeps me alive. 2 years and 2 months gone. I want Nigerians to know that this boy did not die natural death. They brutalized him, they poisoned him.
Nearly 3 years after the son's passing, Mrs. Rosemary Oromoni also died from depression and high blood pressure following the traumatic loss of her son and the legal battle that followed. She was laid to rest on August 7, 2025. At this point, only one thing is clear: Sylvester has not gotten justice, if at all. According to the family's account, the deceased was bullied and poisoned. The school said no, he had an ankle injury while playing football. The court judgment says the boy died naturally of sepsis, which affected the lungs and liver due to an ankle injury, and a high level of parental and medical negligence. The truth is, nobody knows which of these is the fact. But the court have spoken, the coroner inquest have ruled, the accused have been cleared, and whether you believe that he was bullied, or it was an ankle injury, or something else entirely, one truth remains unmovable. An 11-year-old boy named Sylvester died 5 days before his birthday, and nobody is in prison for it. The Sylvester Oromoni case remains controversial, and the outcome highlights issues around student safety, institutional accountability, medical responsiveness, and parental rules. Somewhere in Delta State, a family still lives with the pain of sending their son to school and never bringing him home alive. If this story made you feel something, drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more true crime stories from Nigeria and beyond.